It's the Social Drinkers podcast.
Yeah, cause I know it's like my upbringing, with how I was. It's it's different when you got girls in the household.
Oh yeah.
And then you got, my wife, she dealt with a lot of stuff. I want to let her speak for herself, but she did deal with a lot of stuff, from not having that father figure in her life.
Yeah.
So now it's like, and as we was dating, it's like, even before she met me, me and her was open about it. It's like, as a girl growing up, as a female girl, just growing up, if you don't have a father figure in your life, you're out there trying to find your father in men.
That's right.
Exactly.
In ways that you shouldn't even be trying to find
right.
them.
Exactly.
So it's like, you can just imagine what my wife went through before she met the prince. She met
Look, you being modest. I was saying before she met the king.
Right. Nah, mess with it. But it's like now, with her daughter at the time, she got married and got an 8-year-old now. So it's like now I'm the example. Mm-hmm. So it's like that's a big responsibility.
Oh yeah,
right.
And it's like at first I was like, man, you know how. I'm not ready for that.
Not ready.
But hey, man, you in it now. It's time to grow up.
Right.
Shut up.
Lace your shoes up.
You gonna man up or lay down? What you gonna do, bro?
Yep.
So it's like you ain't finna test my manhood.
That's right.
That's one thing you're not finna do. So it was like I had to grow up with it, and it's like with my oldest, she know now how I am. My youngest, she see, that's my twin, so it's like I'm very overprotective of my girls, because it's like at the end of the day, they gonna date their daddy at the end of the day.
Yes.
So it's like when my oldest, he bring Negroes around, I'm like, nah.
You talking about your boy?
I'm more vocal. My wife, she be like, me, I'm vocal.
Yeah.
I'm tell you in your face, nah, bro.
No, what you doing?
This ain't gonna work. And I tell them, nah, this ain't gonna work. Cause at the end of the day, I used to be you.
Yeah.
I know what your intentions are. Cause I got two beautiful girls at the end of the day. Yeah, they beautiful. So it's like, nah. It's like, nah. But it's like when you growing up as a man, you see what you need to do and it's like I done did my dirt. As growing up, so like I don't want my girls to go through that. And it's crazy, and it's true that they say that. It was like, it's a saying. It's like when you settle down and you start having a family, God know how to get you back. He'll mess around and give you girls
Yep.
instead of
You
boys.
reap them. People tell you
I'm
that.
like, dang.
Girl,
All the women, I'm like, oh Lord.
Girl.
Then I got one that look just like me.
Man, I always say this.
Man.
Just as well as girls need their father,
Yes.
fathers need their daughters.
Exactly.
And that's a
That's
true
sanity.
thing,
Right.
man.
That's right.
That's
So
a
it's
true
like
thing.
So like with my girls, like my wife, she knows me, like but them girls, I got a soft spot.
It turn you into
It's
somebody
like,
else, won't it?
exactly. I'm like, let me
It'll
come
turn you
no,
into
you ain't
that.
hard, bro. No, for them, man, look, at the end of the day, I do anything for them,
Right.
but it's like, as far as the upbringing, I never got, but you got to think about my daddy, he got a sister, but it was like the structure, the blueprint.
right.
You supposed to pass it on. He never passed on that particular blueprint on, okay, son, this is how you supposed to treat a woman.
Right.
Son, this is how you supposed to, bam. It was like I had to learn on my own, trial and error, listening to certain songs, listening to certain things or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I saw my mom. It was like I had to learn on my own. Or I saw my friends' parents. I had to go outside the household sometimes to
village,
find,
right.
And that's
to
a good
find
thing.
that.
Right.
How to, that's how, better. So that's how I'm supposed to go better. Not to knock my daddy, but the fact that I'm hanging around my partners with who got daddies. Yeah, because the thing about it, you could be present but not present.
Right.
If that
Right.
makes
But
sense.
did that ever make you
No, it
resent
makes
your
sense.
father?
Honestly, yes, it did. As like between about 20, by 19, 20, between 19 and like 23, 24, right before I got married. Yes, it did. But then this the thing, this the kicker. Like This thing right, this is what did it for me. Like, I got married, and I had anger.
Oh
I
yeah.
had anger issues, like bad
Me too.
anger issues, like to the point where my mom was like, "Nah, we need to do something about this."
Right.
Or
I
I'm
can
like,
third that, not second it. You second it, but I can third that. But go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you need to get this under control, because my thing, it wasn't my wife, it was the fact that I wasn't taking responsibility. I was like really recognizing I had my daddy anger in me.
You know, back to what
You
you
know
were
what?
saying. it's-
So
You know what I call
somehow
it?
you judge and you shall be judged, right?
Right.
You pass judgment, right?
Right, yeah,
Until
exactly.
you got to walk them shoes.
Exactly. So
Oh, yeah.
So now
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, now, and this was the kicker right here. Like, okay, do I want my marriage to work, or do I want to be another
Statistic.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, nah, I'm finna do this. So went to a men's meeting at the church, whatever. Had an epiphany.
Yeah.
Right. Called my dad after this meeting. Me and my father sat on the phone literally for 2 hours, non-interrupted. I let him know how I felt, and I now know why he did what he did.
Right.
Because think about it, if you don't have an open now we're men to men.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
as a father talking to an 8-year-old, he can't tell
Yeah.
me what,
Yeah.
and vice versa with the ladies.
Right.
Right.
Y'all 34, 35, just don't. Y'all can't talk to
Thank
y'all
you for that.
9, 10-year-old girl. You know, y'all
Thank
can't.
you for
Y'all can't because they won't comprehend.
That's right.
But now that you old enough to have that
I
conversation,
see.
now I know why
Exactly.
you did what you did, and I
Right.
respect you for that. And the fact that we had this
I
conversation.
love that.
Right.
We had this
And it's-
conversation.
yeah.
I love you, boo. And our relationship was phenomenal. And 3 or 4 years later, he passed away.
And you know what the
Wow.
funny thing is? You got that opportunity because with my
Right.
mom, I was a dad. Come on, Brittney, come on. I was a daddy's girl, so everything I seen mama doing in an immature mind made me resent my mom. And see, we
Yeah, you
seen
had
the
a
same.
young
It made me,
mother.
and I
Yeah.
rebelled.
That's
hard.
deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a
I
young
rebelled
mother.
hard.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying. I never had that conversation, but I had to walk her walk in my first marriage. And it was horrible. And I had and the things that I didn't see in my dad by wearing these rose colored glasses as a child, I looked and I saw it. Why do mama do this? I don't respect. Yeah. Mama this, mama that. And then when she passed, I got a husband that had similarities. Not all, but similarities. And then I had to say, Mama, I get it. If heaven had a waiting room, I would say I understand.
Yeah.
Brittney, stop. Because let me not to.
Okay.
No, because it's funny because you know my mom passed and it's like I dedicated the
I
book
mean,
to her
yeah.
and I said that. So I'm like, get out of my head. I'm sorry to say
I'm
to say
sorry.
that. I'm like, it was so many things that I didn't get. I get it now.
I get it now. And it's like,
Right.
it's like, please, just.
Right.
Can
I
you
get
hear
it.
me? I get it. I'm sorry. I didn't
sorry.
understand. I was, I was
And
being a kid.
And we do
So-
reap. Boys do, men do
Right.
reap through their girls, and girls do reap through their
Yeah,
boys.
so-
Is my boy. Yeah, we'll go.
Right.
That's another
So
topic. I'm just trying to tell you.
Oh man.
I do miss my dad. I miss the father because I miss like the conversations. I miss
Oh,
all
yeah.
that. And to this day, I wish I can just because there's a lot of stuff I still don't know. But the fact that before he passed and as he was laying on his deathbed because he died by cancer, the fact that
sorry.
we was able to have those conversations towards the end, it's like the last 10 years. It don't even bother me.
Right.
Because as you get older, it's like that small shit is it's
None of that stuff
It
matters.
don't matter.
When he heal you,
To what?
it's a whole different heal.
It's a whole different situation.
That's
So
right.
now it's like, man, I wish he was here because he died right before he passed, he always wanted grandkids. The only biological.
Right.
He wanted grandkids. He never got it. My mama was able to, by the grace of God, she's still alive to see the grace
Witness
of my
your baby.
8-year-old.
Yeah.
Because think about it, my dad died in 2011. No, 2013. I'll take it back. 2013. My biological, his daughter was born 2016. So every day I'm like, when my wife find out I was at the first, I said, damn, I wish my daddy was here. But you know,
Don't
everybody
you?
get it
I
that
love
BS
him.
cliche. Oh, he's
watching down. He's watching down. He's so proud of you.
The selfish part came out. He need to be here.
Right.
He need to see this. Like, this is what he wanted.
Right.
And it took death for another life.
Right.
And that's how I look at it. I'm like, man, okay, Lord, I see you.
I see how you
But you
work.
can't question God. At the end of the day, you can't.
Yep.
You be angry at him. You cuss
But you
fuss.
know
Wait.
Wait a minute.
Not to stop
Go
you.
ahead. Go ahead.
Because I'm going to tell you what my aunt said. Stop saying that.
Right.
You should question God. He's there for that.
Right.
Because how can you learn certain things? He's there to give
you
you
don't ask
knowledge.
questions, right.
You do ask him questions,
Yeah.
and he will give you the answers. That
But you don't
need.
ask him to a question. You know you got you
Yeah.
know
Right, right. But you
That
can
voice
ask
say,
God
you
questions.
know,
If I went lay down with somebody's husband, I know.
Right, you know you ain't had no business doing that.
You know what?
But if he knows
Yeah.
the area you need to heal from, he'll give you that answer.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
But
you
you
can
ask it,
stop
yeah.
telling yourself that you can ask him questions. That's what he's there. Don't you ask your father when your father was here? Did you not ask him
Yes.
questions?
Right.
That's your example
Same
here
thing.
on earth. How to know
Yeah.
how to
Because
talk
at
to
the-
God.
but-
Your
and
father.
you're right. But as everybody know, like you grow as certain things at that time in my life, I wasn't spiritually strong.
Right, I
So
get
now
that.
at that time, you're going to be like, you're going to get angry. You're going to get, because you don't know. But as you get older and go through life and realize how God works, then you're like, okay, bam, as you get older. But now I don't question nothing really. I'm like, okay, it is what it is.
It's a
I
reason.
see how, I see how, yeah, exactly. I see how everything operates, how everything works. You walk by faith, not by sight.
Right.
That's
So
right.
that's how I am now. But at that time, I was in a dark place. So when you're in
Right.
a dark place, you're not thinking about scriptures. You're not thinking about none of that.
Trust
stuff.
me.
You're angry. And
I was
don't
there
think
this
everybody-
morning. I'm trying to
find
tell
somebody
you.
to blame and
Testimony.
everything. Like,
Exactly.
I went through
But
that.
once you get out of the cloud and come out of it,
Yeah.
you be like, okay.
Baby chicken.
Okay. but think about it. When you go through that builds your faith.
Right.
Right.
In God,
Exactly.
and it
That
builds your
testimony,
faith.
man.
Yeah, it builds that character in you that you want and love. So when somebody going through that situation similar, you know how to relate and talk with them. Because the last thing I want to hear is, "Oh, I know what you're going through." No, you don't.
Right.
Don't tell me how to react to a death of my father and your father's still here.
Right. Come
I
on.
hated it.
You don't know how it
hated it.
goes.
And let me say this: even if my
That's
father
right.
is not
That's
here
right.
and your
No
father is
point.
not here, my perception is going to be different than yours. My
Right.
experience is going to be different than
Exactly.
yours. So
Right.
you don't know what I'm going through.
Thank you.
Because your father was not my father.
Thank you.
I like
But
that.
so we can kind of move along with the next.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a couple of parts of this. I do want to bring up something else, which is like, can you think of your childhood and something that you've noticed an attachment style, like let's say for instance, codependency.
Codependency.
Oh wow, wow,
Well.
wow.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's like you have so many. You know, where do I go? But no, not at this moment. I really don't. I mean, I have to think about it. That's why I say you're pulling things out of me like that.
Right.
Well, codependency.
I don't think I've ever been codependent because I was forced to be independent.
Right.
You know, like, and I know that can be a
That's why I'm
problem
like,
for
I
me,
don't-
not just in relationships with like dating relationships, but even friendships. I'm so used to being independent, I can be a little defensive.
Yeah.
But
get
it was,
that.
you know, even though I was chasing certain things, what I learned is you chase things, they run from you. I learned that. You chase a man, he gonna run. So I don't chase behind anybody. You want to go where you going.
So what
And-
is the true definition of codependency?
Well,
So like, whereas though you codependency is you need a person. Like, and I feel like with codependency, for you to have codependency, a lot of times you end up codependent off of things like trauma bonds.
yeah.
Oh, that makes
Yeah,
a lot
like
of sense.
like
You get what-
like
Thank
when
you
I
for
was
that.
younger, going back to this is it's both topics.
Right.
But when I was younger, it was things that my father didn't it's when my mom passed and the way it went down, I was young. And I used to, it comes to a certain age where you can't fault your parents no more. Because so many signs come to you and so many people that's going to come in your life. I could see someone 25 years old, and that's where I was when I was doing these things, 25, 24, 20. I was, man, it's because my pop, this here, I didn't learn this. I didn't learn this. And I had all this, I would blame. You know what I'm saying? I would blame my father for a lot of things. And that was my crutch, that's what I depended on, but as I got older, I started realizing that
he wasn't a soft ass.
It's me. I started holding myself accountable for things. Right. I can't go on what my parents didn't do and what they, you know what I'm saying? And because I done had all these examples in my life, and I had pretty good ones, but the spots that were left empty, I would blame someone.
That's what you call healing.
Not everybody's perfect.
Right.
Not all them people was perfect. But where the spots that were left empty, I would blame someone. Well, I fell short, and then sometimes I was 75% of the time I was full of shit.
Right.
Christmas turkey.
But let me say this: when you start to notice that, that's a part of you healing,
growing.
You know what I'm saying? That's you growing because you can't grow when you're not holding yourself accountable.
Right.
Like I always say, that's like, for instance, I'm gonna give you a quick example. Somebody cheats on you, right?
Yeah.
And you keep taking them back. After a while, you got to hold yourself accountable for your own stupidity.
Right.
And then at that point, that's not that person's fault. You like it, clearly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Helped me back. Cat Williams helped me when he said, "What is it about you that's attracting ain't shit niggas?" Right.
And
I had to evaluate myself. What is it?
Wait. You had to take a little puff before you
and I got it.
Right.
I had to search.
Right.
I couldn't play
Because
perfect.
I would lean towards people that would feed into whatever I'm going through, and that was my crutch. Those were my people. Man, it's this. We all messed up, this and that, whatever.
Trauma bonds.
Yeah, and I would lean more towards those people because we were all in the boat of a bunch of childhood traumas, and we can all relate. So I would hang on to those people,
That's right.
And this is a big debate because some people will say you attract opposite, and some people will say you attract people that are like you. I will say, in my experience, I have attracted people that were like me.
Yeah.
People that were traumatized just like I was.
I'm a true believer.
And I wasn't having good experiences because of that. It wasn't until I started doing the work, I was able to notice that. I'm not going to say that's everybody's experience,
right?
Because maybe that was my experience for God to teach me what He needed to teach me,
right?
But in my experience, I was attracting people that were like me, not exactly like me, but we both had some type of trauma,
right? Traits,
right?
It might look different, but it's all the same.
Because like if I grew up with watching men and women fight each other, if a person, another person that experienced the same thing, we fighting each other, but somebody that didn't experience that. Exactly. It's going to be like, oh, no, you're crazy. I'm up out of here. I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest. I've dated some like, wait a minute, you a little off. I saw that. That's not normal. And I'm thinking like, it's normal to me.
Right.
I was close to my dad and his dad. And Sonny Johnson will fight his wives. And I saw that.
Wow.
Right.
And I would go, see, you got me. I'm not gonna do that. I'll strike him first.
Right.
And that is that's a trauma that I brought into a
You
relationship.
Me too. And it wasn't from my dad. My dad, I've never seen my dad hit anybody, but I've watched my mom be in a situation where as though
I see my mama.
Yeah, I see my mama
fighting.
hit first. That my mom was.
Yeah, but I've never seen my mom and dad fight because they broke up when I was a baby. But my mom moved on. So it is certain things. Not even just her. I've seen it. So I can even, if I'm going to be transparent, like I think I remember, and then I started dating my daughter's father. We met in 9th grade, and I started, that was normal to me. Oh, you want to do this and that? I'm swinging. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of toxic ways that I had to, get rid of.
Yeah, I
know?
would do that too.
It was normal to me.
And he would go, why do you hit me?
Yeah.
Because in your mental note, I'm not gonna be weak like that person.
Right. And then and it's not okay. Whether it's a man hitting a woman or a woman hitting a man, nobody should be hitting anybody. That's not normal.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So then it's like when you get the lights knocked out of you, it's kind of what you get. But you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's so many things. It's just like so many things.
We have to work on ourselves daily.
Yeah, because we used to seeing crackheads, you see crackheads, you see a cheesehead, you be like, oh, he's crackhead.
Right.
You bring a girl around, you close to your neighbor, hey, I'm finna stop by my auntie house. You ride by a crackhead and they in a car like,
you know, my kids did that. They seen a crackhead.
Oh, you got somebody in your family messed up. You see, you got somebody in your family messed up, and everybody
are hard to find. It's not like it was back in the day. You know, which that's a good thing, though, right? Yeah.
I was just getting off top.
It's good stuff though, man.
Yeah.
Good,
I like talking to you guys. Yeah. You got any more questions?
Let's go. We on the road.
Right. No, yeah. So
we just playing.
Like, would you say that you went into relationships being vulnerable, guarded? Like, what would you say? Based off of what you were taught as a kid?
Probably both for me, because it's like I went into it more in a way like as I was getting older and dating, that I never got that validation from my father and my mom, like to the point where, hey son, basically speaking life into me, like who I am. Like, so what I did was, okay, listen to this music. Like music was an influence for me.
Oh yeah.
Then my partners and my friends. And of course, sex. That's just what it was. Like my partners, they 16, 17. They lost their virginity. I never. I'm still.
Right.
Okay, so that's how I was. But it's like the like, man, the more you smell it, the more you want to taste it. You know? And I don't mean that. I mean in all ways. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and see what this is about. So I was just curious. Like, okay, let me see what this is. So that was like just going through that stage in my life. I'm like, okay, let me. And then that's when just went.
I wasn't taught anything about emotions. When I think about it, so that may be why I was all over the place.
Right, exactly.
Nobody said that you need to handle this way or handle that way. You know,
I didn't get emotions till I had kids. Because before that, I went into relationships like, we're gonna be friends, and then they be in love, and all the time I'm treating them like a homegirl. Yeah, and then I'm wondering why I'm getting busted in the mouth. I'm looking at it, I'm feeling my girl, and then all the while she's into me.
Right.
And I'm like, this is my, because I had 3 sisters.
Right.
So I treated everybody like buddies.
Right.
And I wasn't.
That makes sense.
I never was in love.
Right.
Like I was always, you're my homegirl, And if I get around other girls, I talk to other girls. And then I'm wondering why I'm getting pop. Like, hold up, because all the while she's digging you and you treating her like this. But as I got older, I started realizing, okay, this is how women are. They have emotions. I had to learn to understand emotions because I never been an emotional person.
Right.
Even as a kid, I wasn't emotional.
Well, he used to tell me about my emotions.
I was like Cameron. They be like, you gotta watch him because
he used to always tell me, Brittney, get your feelings off your sleeve as a kid.
I was never an emotional kid.
See, the thing about it, don't feel bad, bro, because if I wanted to show, like, just when your father is hard on you, you try to suck it up. Yeah. What you crying for? Right. So we couldn't show emotions.
Right.
As a young man, as for me, we couldn't show emotions. So that was a sign of a weakness.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Now
we got with a. I wasn't about to show her
Right.
I love her, but in my mind I'm like, ooh,
you know
she-
what? You right. It was
Yeah.
like I'm not finna. Like I got hurt when I was little.
because I don't want to
For
feel
real,
weak.
Kristen Thomas.
Yeah.
I was like 7th grade.
Right.
And she was talking to other guys, and she talked to guys all the time. I didn't care. I just wanted to be one of them.
Yeah.
Right. She was talking to a guy in front of me, but I did not show her I was hurt.
Right.
I was like, and I was just like that.
Because you figured because it was a sign of weakness.
Weakness, yeah.
If a man cry, which I know that's a whole nother topic, at that time we didn't cry.
But that's something you learn from childhood.
That was trauma.
Right, because like, you
It
sitting
is
there crying.
trauma.
Yeah.
And then when they
I
hit
don't
you and
think
they
nobody
say,
showed me. I
you
just-
better not cry. You better be quiet.
Right. Or you get
I
hit in
forgot
your
how I
chest.
got to that.
Yeah.
I got hit in my
Yeah.
chest so many. It's like
can't remember
you better
how
not
I
That's
get
why I
that.
like talking about things
You know
like
what?
that.
And
I
then
remember how it
yeah,
happened.
so it's like that to this
can't
day. It's
remember
like
that.
my wife be like, "Why you don't?" Because it ain't that I don't care. I do care, but it's like I don't know how to show
Genie.
it without
Right.
being weak, and the fact that
I
if
told
I
Nick.
show my vulnerability and being weak, is that gonna show me as being a weak man?
Right.
Well, let me flip it real quick. Let me bring up something else that's old school that we were taught. If a boy hit you, that means he like you. Isn't
Yeah.
that setting you up for abuse to tell you that
That's
abuse
true.
is normal?
That's kind of,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to think about it because a lot of stuff we hold on to subconsciously and we don't really think about it.
Maturity and somebody not being able to express themselves, which can
Right.
also translate into adulthood. If you never
Right.
If you don't exactly,
Right. By
If- so it-
explaining what they mean. Yeah.
I don't know
Right.
why when you sit there and say when a girl hit you, I don't know why I thought about Norbit.
I think I started mine. I remember a long time ago when I was a kid. I know what happened. I remember when we was a kid, and I'll never forget. I was somewhere, and it was somebody passing out candy to the kids, and I was trying to get a piece of candy, and that lady looked at me and say, "Hey, I gotta take care of my nephews first. You not my real nephew." And from that, because I remember I told you I think I talked to my wife and I talked to you about it.
Wow.
I was going through counseling, and that's who dug that out of me. And from that moment, I was always a child. When someone don't show me affection,
Right.
I would just find something else to do. Like if
I was gonna
one of my
ask you.
sisters
Yeah.
take my toys, I would go grab another toy. If somebody do something to me, I was like, at that moment, I would always, if someone would do something to me, I wouldn't never. Now, you mess with somebody I love, that was a different story. And that's what, when I went through counseling, I found this out. I was always a person, if someone was to do something or take something from me, I'll just find something else to do. I'll replace it with something.
But let me
Like
ask you
that.
this: did it still leave you with a little bit of rejection? Like when that lady said that to you, is that something that they brought up? Like her telling you, like it's not your fault, you're not one of the nephews, but just by her telling you
No, that hurt it. That hurt it when I was a kid. But it was like, okay, well, I'll just go over here and I'll go steal Big Mama candy or something.
But now you're about
it's like-
stealing from somebody.
No. I found something to replace that. Like, okay, they got candy. She giving up.
Got
Okay,
it.
I don't want your candy no more.
Got
I'll
it.
go get this candy.
But
So do you feel like you went through life
Ever
like so?
since
You went
then,
through
I've
life like
always-
that.
Yeah, I went through life
Gotta
like
deal
that.
with your
So
emotions.
somebody take this or somebody
Right.
do this. All right,
I'm
whatever.
gonna go find a
It's
And
also
it
how
replacement.
to deal with
always
your
just was
emotions.
look like I would just
Yeah.
swap
Okay,
it
let
out.
me ask you
Deal
this
with your
question, bro.
emotions.
When she said that to you and you felt some type of way, at that time, I know you probably do you think it would have been a different outcome if you would have been raised like, okay, if somebody say something to you, you open up and let them know how you feel at that moment?
No, because I was raised by my father, and my father was not the emotional. He didn't display
so, I'm
emotions
saying, though,
much.
like if
Yeah.
he was that, would
If
have
I-
been in a different outcome
Now,
to
if
the point
he-
where
if it probably happened to my sister.
no.
Oh,
When she
Yeah,
made,
'cause I
when she
was
made that
emotional.
statement to
right,
you,
yeah.
would have been a different outcome?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty
Saying
sure.
like for the fact like, oh, I'm finna get this off my chest, so why
yeah,
I feel the way I feel.
Because I never was a person to get something off my chest.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I would just,
I was that one.
all right, whatever.
Okay.
You know, like
And my
I
brother would go,
I
oh,
would-
go Brittney.
Yeah,
Like,
you
I'm
know,
gonna
my
say,
Brittney them more the type that'll do
wait
this,
a
but
minute.
me, I was always the type. Like if somebody say something to me, most of my things I've gotten into was always behind somebody I love, or somebody I care about. But it never was me. I can handle it. You know, I always looked at it like somebody say something to me, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. You know, if even a female, whatever, it was always, I brush it off. I keep on going, you know.
Right.
And that made me like that from that moment. She did that to me, and I thought we was all, you know, you was my favorite person. And then you did that to me. I was like, okay, I don't know how did I react to it like that, but from that moment on, I never really, that affected me in a lot of ways. It stopped me from being in love.
As you get older, you know, as a child, when you hear stuff like that, and as you get older, it's like, how did that affect you? It would have been a different outcome if you would have had like somebody be like, okay,
to say that,
to sit down with you, okay,
explain
son,
what happened.
like son. So when somebody tell you no, this is how you respond. Somebody say something, this is how you respond. That's my thing, like, cause I never got that at all as well.
But when she did it in front of everybody, nobody cared.
Right.
So I was like, "You're not gonna say nothing? You're not gonna say nothing?"
Nobody came to your defense.
My back was against the wall.
Right.
And you know, I've always had 3 sisters. Right. See, I learned all this through getting counseling. I had 3 sisters, so I was always the protector. Yeah. The one that, you know, because my daddy used to tell me, when I'm not here, you the man of the house.
Right.
So when I looked around in my bag, this was a grown woman. So I didn't have nobody to defend for me. Like, it was like,
ain't nobody to lean on.
Right. And then
so I was like, saying that. Fine, I'll go over here and do this. You know, and that's and throughout life, that's how I dealt with everything.
Yeah, I was,
and I had to catch that.
I was hot headed. Man, I was temperamental. I was hot headed.
Can y'all, man, like we were talking, like, can y'all just think about the stuff that we went through as kids and as growing up? Man, that shit was toxic. At the end of the day, it's like we're grown now, we're mature now.
We can talk about it.
We could talk about it and get it off our chest without feeling guilty or feeling down and depressed.
Right.
And
I love it though.
And think about it, being transparent and open is free. And I love it. And the fact that way, we knew it was fun. The experience, it was kind of like, but as you got older, it was like, damn, we was in a toxic environment. We didn't even know it.
Yeah. But you know what I love?
10, 15 years ago, we weren't talking about no counseling.
But I love it because it taught me how to get through to people.
That's the thing in the black community, where it's though, like we kind of hit on that earlier on, like, what? You can't go to therapy.
And it's therapy.
Yep. My mom snuck me to therapy. When I was in the 7th grade.
And you got a lot of people talking about, I can't afford therapy. Oh, but you can
I would
afford
lash
that bottle.
out. And I was temper. I had a bad temper.
Get out of here.
Come on.
Stop it.
Listen.
It's the Social Drinkers podcast.